Yo, what is the crack?
How's things, Chris?
So we've got a massive update on the Fulfilment Mastery Course. Listen, it's completely fucking sold out. So if you've missed getting a ticket, or you are one of the 5 or 6 odd people that were asking me, is there going to be an online version of this thing? Well, the answer is no, but do stick around to the end because we're going to have something for you. Look, the reason that it's not going to go online is just, it's not like our Facebook mastery and social media mastery thing that was modular. You know, we broke it down so we give you an overview and then how to do your sales copy, pick your picture, pattern interrupt, you know, actually building your lead ad, you know, all the rest of that stuff so that you had your Facebook ad built by the end of it. This isn't really modular. It's more principle based and then practical out on the gym floor. But one of the things that we showed you yesterday is there is going to be a way that you can get your hands on all of the content, which is like fucking, how many years of training? 2016 to 2019, Jay?
Yeah, there's a shitload of stuff in there.
We'll go through at the end, so stick on the end. If you didn't get a ticket because it's sold out or you can't meet the day and you're still interested in getting involved and would love to get your hands on the material, stay to the end because we're going to tell you what we've got for you. All right, so what we need to do is answer some questions, Dave. I'm going to answer these things here. So I'm going to hit Jay with these questions and he's going to answer them. If you've any questions that you want us to cover and you're watching live, then stick your questions in the question box and we'll answer them when we see them, when we get them. Okay, so here we go. Let me see. Where's the first question? And we begin a board of questions. What's so special? Here's the first one. What's so special about this 2-phase nutrition system, or is that just Bowixology? Is that a made-up thing, or like, do you have a 2-phase nutrition system? What's the thing?
Yeah, no, 100%. So, look, ultimately it comes down to people's psychology. So how people enter into something is going to change, right, when it comes to a time frame. So if you try and use tactics or tools to try and get a long-term result and try and condense that down into a short period, it's not going to work, okay? Because for a long term, you're really talking about changing people's habits. But in the short term, all right, you know, in let's say 4 weeks, 6 weeks, maybe even 12 weeks, it's not so much about habit change, it's about giving somebody a result. So you've got to restrict or eliminate in some way, shape or form in order to give them a result, in order for them to build trust, in order for them to like you, in order for them to see that you're an authority and they can start to listen to you. And if we do that, then we can start shifting into a longer term approach where we start trying to change people's habits and ultimately change their life. But you've got to use that first period of time. That's why we need to break down the 2 phases. You've got to use that first period of time in order to build trust.
That's a cracking point, Jay.
And to give people a result, really.
Yeah, they need that result. Listen, how many clients have you had, and this is especially if you own a gym, you'll see this all the time. People have tried this program, the gym hopped around 2 or 3 places, and they can't get a result. So you need to prove the result in the first part. You're in the trust, don't you, really?
Yeah.
And then what you're saying is exactly right. You're not going to fucking beat people with education right at the start, are you?
No, not unless somebody has signed up for that. So I mean, if somebody's coming in to do a 7-day program or a 28 or a 6-week, they're expecting a result. So you've used some sort of hook to get that person in. And what do we mean by a hook? What we mean is you get them a promise. Hey, if you come and train with me, you're going to feel better. You're going to move better. You're going to get fitter. You're going to get stronger. You're going to tone up. You're going to lose weight. And if at the end of the period of time that hasn't happened, the person's going, you're a liar. Now, obviously, we know that, you know, sometimes people don't follow the advice, but that's what, then we have to look back at ourselves as the coach and say, are we giving good advice or are we using the wrong tactics and strategies? Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's noises coming out of these streets. Noises, Jeff. Okay, right, we've covered that one. So what way does your training, this is a cracker because people are starting to get this now. We've said this a lot. We've said that, like, if you're going to scale your business, your training delivery is going to need to change. But what are some of the biggest mistakes you've seen with people who are trying to scale a business in terms of the way they're delivering their training?
Well, really, like, it comes down to, in many ways, what the people want and what the people are paying for. So I'll give you 2 scenarios here. If you're training a huge group of people, you know, when I say huge, I'm talking like up towards 20 or even more than that. So imagine a situation where somebody had a spin class and they've got fucking 30 people in it, or they've got a boot camp with 50 people in it. What those people are looking for from that experience is totally different than if somebody is in a one-on-one environment. So if you try and blur the lines and cross those things over, very often you can run into errors. So in a bigger group, generally what people are looking for is the group dynamic, the energy, the buzz, the atmosphere. You know, they're getting fucking high fives. It's really high paced and highly energetic. And that buzz and energy pushes everybody along to work a little bit harder, to train a little bit harder. But in a smaller environment or in a smaller group, generally what people are looking for, and especially if the price point starts to rise. So the bigger the group, generally the lower the price point, okay? The smaller the group or one-on-one, the higher the price point. So as somebody pays more, they're going from a commodity to a service. So there's a bit of a difference there. So a commodity is something that is generally priced the same across the whole world, all right? So think of coffee. Anywhere in Europe or in America, you know, coffee's more or less priced the same. Now, you could say to me, oh no, but coffee's priced differently here and there. But think about it, where those people buy the coffee. So on the open markets, it's priced the same. It's an international, okay? But now a service is different, all right? So if you go into Starbucks and buy a coffee, there's a certain element of service there. But if you went into a really swanky restaurant, okay, or some fucking, you know, hipster coffee joint and some lads fucking, you know, playing around with the beans, I don't know what the fuck they do.
Dodo and Badger.
Yeah, whatever the fuck, all right?
Because
the coffee itself is the exact same price from a commodity standpoint. But what those people do too with the coffee and the experience and the service that they provide you, people are willing to pay more for it. So commodity, service.
Like it. Now, let's see what is next here. This is a cracker. So we talked about this a lot. Now, if you've just tuned in, we're talking about the Fulfilment Mastery Course that we're doing tomorrow. It is sold out though, but if you would love to get your hands on the information and the stuff that we're going to give you, all the people who are coming, all the course material, you still can't stick around. We're going to show you how. If you have questions, drop them in and we'll answer them. But we talk about this a lot. We talk about like when you're growing a business, if you have some systems, if you have the fucking shrewdness to start creating systems that allow you to scale, what you begin to notice is that they start to break down, don't they, Jay? When you like, so somebody's asked, why do fulfillment systems break down whenever you add a new load of clients? We sort of see this about 30, 40, maybe 50, definitely at 50. It's like, fuck, right now, shit. You're starting to see holes appear in the system. So why is that happening, and what do people need to look out for in scale business?
Because generally when people are thinking about creating a system, they think about creating a system to fulfill the needs that they're currently at. All right, so they don't think about capacity and they don't think about run as in later on. All right, and this happens everywhere and every system, but they don't build in enough redundancy. And what do we mean by redundancy? So imagine in an engineering situation where you're building a bridge and you might turn around and say, okay, let's think of the worst case scenario that will happen with this bridge. There's going to be, it's a pedestrian bridge, for example, we could potentially get X amount of people on it. So let's say we could fit 100 people on this bridge, and if each one of those people were 100 kilos, that's going to be a certain load. If those people were to jump up and down, that's going to be a certain load. If it was fucking raining out, there'd be water on the bridge, that's a certain load. Imagine a situation where it was snowing out, that's a certain load. And then what we do in an engineering situation is we multiply that by 5. And we build a bridge that could take 5 times the maximum load that we could ever feasibly put on it in a real life situation. And that bridge will only ever fall down or become destroyed if we miss something. But in a scenario where we're talking about personal training, right, or other businesses, we don't really think about those loads in the same way. So what we think is, hey, listen, I've got 10 people in my gym, or in personal training, 10 people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ring everybody on Friday, and I'm going to spend a half an hour talking to them on the phone, and that means I'm a great coach and da 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 da. And I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write everybody an individualized program, which also takes me 45 minutes or half an hour. So we've got 5 hours talking to people on the phone, because a half an hour multiplied by 10. So we've got 5 hours talking to people on the phone, and we've got 5 hours writing programs. So now we've got 10 hours per week, potentially. Even if we extrapolate that out and said it's only 10 hours per month. Well, now think about it, right? If you've got 20 clients, well, now that's 20 hours. 30 clients, 30 hours. 40 clients, 40 hours. That's a whole work week. Now, unfortunately, we can't fucking steal more time in from the either, right? We can't get more weeks into a month. So that system will start to break down. Mm-hmm. So there's an example of why a system might break down, because we build for the amount of people that we have, not for the amount of people that we want.
Love it. So the systems that they've got have actually built in redundancy.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, and you don't know until it's too late. It's like, shit.
We fail because we don't have foresight.
That's exactly it, yeah. So what we're going to give you is the fucking crystal ball. We're going to show you.
Down there, isn't it?
It is indeed. So what we're going to give you is, because how do we know? I mean, we've fucking been there. We've been in this shit. And we've fought our way out of the fucking thing over the last decade. And now, why would you want to give yourself the ball ache of having to go and figure it out for yourself when we can hand it to you on a plate, if you like, at the Fulfilment Mastery Course? And that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, look, let's go through here. Gary Mack has, now Gary, you're a member of Ascension, mate, so you're going to get this for free. So please, when we give you the link at the end, don't pay, you're going to get it. And we can see you at the next mastermind, my man. Okay, so let's see what the next thing is. We've covered that one. Why, how do you fix that? Yeah, how do I improve retention in my gym? So this is definitely a big one. Look, we used to run a thing, it was the Amazing 12. Remember, that was a fucking great program, yeah? Now, we actually gave away the funnel that we built, because every time we launched this, it made like 74,598 was the exact figure, right? And weird, we remember numbers like a fucking rain man. It was 74,598 euro. We made out of that one program because it was filled every time. Now, the big problem with that was people didn't stick around. So the Amazing 12 was a fantastic program, but the problem was that you got all these people in for the Amazing 12, and then at the end of the 12 weeks, they were fucking gone for a varying amount of reasons. You know, usually it was because they would travel a great distance just to get the results that we showed in the pictures. They were like, fuck me, whoa. Now this thing was 1,500 quid a person. It was 12 weeks of personal training. It was like 5 days a week training. So it was like 90 sessions. It ruined a lot of people. And to be quite honest, a high percentage of them didn't want to see the inside of a fucking gym again for a while. You know, it just burnt people out. And then we had to look back and go, fuck. That actually took a huge investment of both time, energy, money from us as individuals and the coaches who helped us fulfill the program. It was quite the turn, and then it took away from the other members of the gym because you were all focused on this A12 program, and that caused a lot of problems. Now, we learned from that because we were like, what is the point, even if we can make 75 grand out of this one program, of running something that, again, like we said about people who don't realize that systems break down, it has built-in redundancy. Those people came, want to train for 12 weeks and 12 weeks only. Some of them travel huge distances and were never going to become long-term members. And the other reasons that I just described meant that your retention in that program was minuscule. I mean, it was ridiculously small. Even though it was a fantastic program, it had such built-in redundancy, which meant that there were some gyms who did solely A12 and they all went broke. Yeah. It's not bad.
Well, I think, look, you've got to remember retention and people coming in. Remember, what we're doing is offering people a service, but it's not a commodity. So if you think about a big gym, it's a commodity. People are renting gym equipment. So if you go into one of the big gyms around Dublin, basically what you're doing is you're renting gym equipment. If you come into a smaller gym, bespoke gym, whatever what you want to call it, a training gym, really what you're buying is a service. So you're entering into a relationship with the coach and the clients, okay? Now, relationships break down when expectations are not met in some way, shape, or form. So the reason why some of these programs fail from the get-go is because the expectation of the client starting off was, I'm going to come in and I'm going to train for 12 weeks. I'm going to come in and I'm going to train for 8 weeks. I'm going to come in and I'm going to train for 6 weeks, okay? That was their expectation. So when that was fulfilled, in their mind, we're like, I'm done here. All right. So unless you, as the coach, were able to flip that and were able to massage those expectations and show them the benefit of continuing on for a long term, people aren't going to stay around. So that's one thing to remember. And the other thing to remember is, as relationships grow, they need nurturing. And there's a critical point in a relationship when things change, and what we once needed, we don't need anymore. Okay, so when people first get going in the gym, really what they need is a lot of handhold and a lot of support, and they need to get a result. So if we were to ask our clients, why do you come here? All right, the people at the beginning would always say, because I want to get a result. But then at some point in time, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's a year, people start to shift and change, and they're coming and staying, not necessarily for the result, because they've got the benefits of the result, and that's in the lifestyle. They're fitter, they're stronger. They're not getting hugely stronger, all right? And think about this. If you've been training someone for a year or 2 years, and they're just a normal person in their 40s who come to you 3 days a week, and they have an office job, all right, they're not getting a huge amount stronger or a huge amount fitter from training 3 days a week. If they wanted to get a lot stronger and a lot fitter, chances are they'd have to invest a lot more time and energy in order to up their game, and then in order to get back into that progressive overload again. Does that make sense?
100%.
So what they're actually coming for is to be part of something, to be a community, to have belonging.
It's the experience then,
the experience and the service, they enjoy being there. So think to yourself, how can I keep on making this enjoyable? And that's something that is very hard to do, and something that we can all fall down on a lot, really.
Yeah, because like you say, after a while, it's like you're not really going to get any leaner, any stronger, any better. So it's like, why the fuck am I going here? You need to have some sense of community built around it, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where a lot of people fall short. It's like, fuck. Then you realize, shit, I'm just a series of short-term fixes, one on top of the other. If you're not growing the net amount of memberships that you have, like your net gain every month, well, you're going to lose members because people will move job, people will move house today, people move job more frequently than ever now. And you're going to see that your membership's dwindling if you're not if you're not increasing the amount of members that you have above and beyond the people that are leaving enough to grow your gym to the capacity where you need it, you're going to be out of fucking business. There's only really 2 stages in business. You can't maintain membership. You've got to be growing, because there's going to be that churn that you're going to get. So if you're not adding members to your gym, like, you're decaying. There's no such thing as maintenance. What do we see now? Last one. Right, so we're here. We're at this bit now. If you have any questions on anything, just before we move into this, if you have any questions on anything, stick them below. Now, listen, we had a good load of people messages and asked us about online. Pierce McNerney and Gareth McLean and a few of you guys. And there's even Gary Mack asking about this thing. So look, again, like I said at the start, just due to the nature of this course, we're not going to record like the lecture part and the principles thing, and then the practicality. It just doesn't lend itself to being online. But what we can give you is, listen, we've loads of the course materials. So I'm going to read out the stuff that we've got here. We've got 3 years worth of programming from 2016 to 2019. You've got, and that program, Jay, that's like, you've got strength programs, you've got hypertrophy programs, you've got performance programs, athletic development programs, 3 years worth of all of that type of programs. Then you've got the conditioning that goes with it. So fucking 3 years of conditioning done for you. Gym standards, and again, you're going to have the philosophy behind the gym standards, the assessment process and the forms. The PA program, by the way, the PA program is our fastest selling program in the company's history. It's sold out in 24 hours. We're going to give you the PA program. It's fucking deadly. Then there's the 28-day challenge template from start to finish, the 6-week challenge from start to finish. We're going to give you the DFDs, so that's the data flow diagrams that map out every single part of the process. So it's basically like paint by numbers for you guys. Then we're going to give you that 2-phase nutrition strategy, which Jay just talked about at the start. You get the 5 business systems, 10 years and 13 lessons, emotional intelligence framework, 21. Listen, there's fucking everything. It's here on the right. We're going to give you all of that stuff. I mean, if you use your laptop, you can spend this, you would shit yourself when you see the amount of this stuff that you're going to get for this. You could run a fucking 6-figure gym with the downloadable stuff we're going to give you here in this course material. Now, we're also, for everybody who wants into this, we're going to include a strategy call in the follow-up afterwards so that we can help you implement everything and get the kind of results that we're getting here, all right? And so that you can troubleshoot anything that you're having difficulties with, get your head around some of the things, and just make sure you're making shit happen. All of that stuff we're going to give you for 97 quid. I mean, fuck me, the strategy call in itself, to get to talk just to troubleshoot shit inside your business would be worth a lot more than 97 quid. And like, fuck me, just read that shit in the right. All you need to do is follow the link. So we're going to make a wee link, stick it in here, and you guys can get your hands on that shit for 97 quid. All right. That's us more or less done.
Yeah.
No more questions. So, peeps, we're out. We're going to stick that link up. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon.
Beep it up.